Hey there, welcome back to my garden. Today we're going to be working on the side patio of our house. This is our main entrance that we use when we go into our house by where we park and where I see a lot. And this area is just looking kind of messy and really needing some attention. So I thought today would be a good day to tackle this because I've just been in kind of a mood this evening. Just some challenges with my car today. And you guys, I mentioned to you before that my car was needing some work. One mechanic told me it needed a new transmission based on how it was acting, so took it to the dealership and they're like, well, we can't reenact the issue. We can't get the issue to happen. So there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, so they had it for several days, drove it back to our town within 20 miles of picking it up. The engine light is on. It's not running well. Again, I'm just like very frustrated, but anyway, what better thing to do when you're frustrated is to work out in your garden. So that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of wanted to take a nap and I thought, no, you're going to get out, you're going to do some cleaning, you're going to feel better after you do this. And I'm sure that I will, because this area is one that we see a lot. It needs attention. It needs to be cleaned up. So let me just show you some of the things that we are going to be working on in this space. In this area, there's some things that we need to put away, some chairs, some bags, some bows, some fishing poles, some just different things like that, some feeding things for our animals. I need to go through these containers right here that just have some dog things, some watering things, you know, like that maybe have a different home that don't all need to be out here. I need to replant this pot. Just the other day when we went to a couple different garden centers, we got some beautiful things to put into this container. And I'm going to be putting this shrub out into the landscape. It was kind of root bound when I planted it, and I think it's just not enjoying being in this kind of smallish container right here. So I think it'll be really happy to get into the ground where it can spread its roots a little bit and hopefully get established well before the winter. So we'll be doing that, and then also just kind of maybe cleaning up the door a little bit, you know, blowing off the patio. And then also I'm going to be moving this boxwood over to where we took out the madrone just recently. I have another container just like this with the boxwood over there next to the path, and I think I'm going to move this over there and flank the path, and then consequently move the containers that are currently there, just kind of a cluster of containers. We'll show you that when I get over there. Move those and find some place to plant those into the garden. So I don't know if we'll get them planted today necessarily, or this one here from this container, but I just mostly wanted to focus on this space, get it cleaned up, getting it a little bit more presentable, a little bit more welcoming as we come into our home. So I'm just going to set up the camera. I'm going to start getting things cleaned up, and then we will tackle planting up the pot and moving the boxwood. just a little quick update. The sun is going down rapidly, so I don't know that I will be able to finish this project this evening because I don't think you'll be able to see very well what I'm doing, but got this area, cleaned up as best I could. This is a 22-year-old house, so there's definitely painting that needs to be done on the trim and things like that. And then also, obviously, when you're working with old pieces like this, can't quite get them perfectly clean, but at least dusted it off pretty well, scraped off some of the dirt, got this drawer, or bucket rather, sorted out. So my husband's work gloves, there's a mouse trap in there, some watering things that I like to just keep there, and put the dog stuff inside where that goes. Kept the fishing poles here because my sons have been using those pretty often. I also have this spruce here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I think I really need to get it into the ground. It's alive. There's a little bit of new growth on it, but I think it's struggling. I like it here, but it's not happy in this spot. So might have to find a spot for that in the ground pretty soon, but it'll be there for just a little bit. And then this boxwood actually is what I'm going to be transplanting out. This is one of the little missy boxwood that I'm going to be transplanting out with a few others that I just picked up and putting it in a little informal-ish hedge that's going to be next to the garden shed, but that's going to stay there also for now. And then now I think I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, also, yeah, I did take this boxwood that was right here over to that area back there. And because I'm such a creature of habit, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to that change, having obviously the madrone gone, that I'm kind of used to at this point. But having the cluster of planters gone and that boxwood there, I'll have to fiddle with it, level that area out a little bit. But just as the sun was going down, I was kind of running out of time to do that if I wanted to at least get this pot here cleaned out a little bit. So it does, I think it looks okay right over there. The boxwoods aren't exactly the same. They're the same variety, but one of them is a little bit more fresh looking. The one that was here on the side patio definitely looks a little bit more fresh than the other one, but I think that they'll even out, and over time they'll end up looking like a pretty good match in that spot. So for right now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take out this shrub, clean out the soil, clean out the sweet alyssum, maybe place in some plants, see what we think, and then I might have to just finish this project tomorrow. to finish up this project of basically just talking to you guys about what I went ahead and planted into the container. I just went for it. I took out what was in the container, the shrub that was in there, and then as I started to place the plants in, I was really happy with the arrangement, so I went ahead and planted them, put everything kind of back where it goes. But like I said, it was getting a little dark, so I thought, well, I'll just wait till the morning to show you guys what the plants actually are that I went ahead and put into the container. So I just think this ended up being a very, very sweet, kind of a play on a fall container. Obviously, you know, usually we think of fall with colors of oranges and reds and yellows, but that's just not really kind of what I go for, I guess, in my garden spaces. So I tend to think of purples and rich colors and greens, of course, and you know, naturally we'll get the fall color on things that do change color. But as far as this fall planting goes, I'm really happy with it. I think it's actually one of my favorites. So let's just look again at what went in here. You can kind of see around the corner here what we put in. So we went shopping the other day in one of the other previous videos, I think it's just this last one you saw, and we picked up some plants that I intended to use for this container. I had thought that I was going to use asters. I kind of over shopped for this actual container, you know, just to have some options to work with. And then once I remembered that this was actually quite a small container, I think it's only maybe 18 inches in diameter, I realized that I was a little bit limited. So what we have obviously in the middle is a grass. I'll show you the varieties in just a second, but we have a really lovely grass in the center. We have a little bit of a spiller on the back side. We have some vinca, 2 vincas in there. We have just a little bitty euonymus right there, and then we have 2 heuchera. And in the back, because I do see this spot from our door, that's where I actually tucked in a couple ferns. So I just had to pull out my tags really quick so that I could show you guys, tell you actually what each of these plants are. But you can see these ferns back here. Right now they're very small, very dainty, but they are the Alaska fern that we picked up, and they can actually get pretty large. It's evergreen foliage, shade or PM shade, which is why I tucked them into the back. And they can get 2 feet. So that's only probably if they were in a container in the landscape, or they had a lot more space to do that. But for right now, they'll just stay that nice compact size. So then the grass that we use is this Shenandoah switchgrass. It also would get considerably larger, 4 feet tall. But what I really liked about this one was the potential for the burgundy foliage that it will be getting in the fall. It hasn't quite started to show that yet, but even if it didn't, I really like the habit of it. I love the plumes that are up there. I think for scale here on our side patio, pretty wispy, so it's a little bit hard to see, but I do appreciate that they make, you know, a pretty good statement here with this taller ceiling and stuff. So I really liked the habit of it. I just think it looks really graceful and beautiful right there. I went ahead and got 2 of the vinca when we were at Bauman's the other day. I really liked the combination of it with the asters that I picked up, but I realized I definitely was not going to have room for the asters. And I also knew that they like to have a little bit more sun, as does the vinca, but I think that it'll be a little bit more tolerant of the light conditions that it gets here. So I was really, really attracted to just the kind of the luster of these leaves. They have a bit of a shine to them, and then obviously the dainty, sweet flowers that are on there. And I thought they looked just absolutely beautiful with this combination of the heuchera and the euonymus that's right there. So this is the first time that I've had this variety of vinca. I have vinca minor in my gardens, but I've not grown an annual vinca before, and I was obviously totally taken by it when I saw it at Bauman's, and I was really excited to give it a try. So we'll see how it does in this space. I don't think it's, you know, it's not going to spread too much. That's the thing with fall containers. They don't really have the time to get to their full potential. So you can kind of get away with packing things in a little bit more and just expect that they'll kind of stay a little bit more of the same size that they are. Hopefully it'll continue to bloom. There's all sorts of little buds in there, and I'm optimistic that it'll continue to bloom, but gosh, even just the foliage is really beautiful too. So like I said, next to those we have the heuchera. So there's 2 heuchera right there, and I thought that this heuchera would be good because it can take a bit more shade, you know, typically than other container plants might. So this one in the front here will get a little bit more sun, but the one on the side will basically get no sun at all, and that can handle it. So this one, Little Cuties Sugarberry Coral Bells. These ones are just compact. It says purple with a silver tone. It says it has very showy flowers, which I'm starting to actually see come on right here. So that's kind of fun. We'll see what those ones do in the container. I'm not sure how much, we'll see of that just while they're in this container, but it is nice because it says that they're evergreen, so they'll continue to have this color throughout the season. And then, like I said, they do like the shade. So, and you can see the height's only 6 inches. So they could potentially just stay this little compact size, which is absolutely perfect for in a container. So this euonymus here, it wasn't marked. I'm not exactly sure what variety it is, but it was just a tiny little 4-inch container, and I was able just to tuck it in right there for some extra interest. I think it'll probably spill out a little bit out of the front here, and I think that'll look really nice. And then the lightness of here kind of coordinates, I think, with this other trailer that we have back here, which is one of the Proven Accents from Proven Winners, Silver River de Delta, I guess is what it's called. So full sun, 8 to 12 inches, and it will get quite a bit of sun being on this side of the container, as obviously that faces the outside of the patio. So I'm just a sucker for the combination of like the silvery gray foliage with purple, and then especially with this really rich green with a luster on it, these leaves here. So I just think I was really happy with that combination. And like I said, I just put it in the container, went ahead and planted it up, and I just was immediately pretty smitten with this combination. So as you can see, this area, we worked on it. I got all the things that didn't belong here picked up. So it's just a lot more inviting, a lot more welcoming. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I prefer my spaces to be when I come home. I don't want it cluttered and messy, obviously. So I think this looks a lot better. And as I said last night, I took the boxwood in the container over onto the side garden. I'll show you that in just a second. This boxwood is going to come out here pretty soon when we plant in a little hedge of those next to the garden shed. And I think I'm going to put some ferns into that container for the winter. I'm not really sure what the fate of the spruce is. It's looking kind of rough, but I do like having it in that space. I think it balances out the patio really well. So I'm not sure. I think I need to just continue to give it water, continue to give it a little bit of time, and just see where that one goes. So let's just walk over here really quick and see this container that we brought over here with the boxwood. You can see that they're not exactly looking the same. Like I said yesterday, one is a little bit more, I don't know, mature, maybe a little weary looking, this one on the left compared to the one on the right, which I just purchased this year and planted into the container. So I kind of shifted everything over a little bit because, as you can see, this path that crosses over the dry creek bed goes through right here. Everything was shifted over to the left a little bit, kind of blocking it, I guess. So I don't know, this is just an area that I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on, just kind of think, what I think of it. I ended up putting 2 of the containers of the other evergreens or the other conifers right here next to this boxwood. So there's the Golden Duke, so it's just a small eastern hemlock, and then a bird nest spruce down there. I put, you can see, right over there. That's where I put the container that has the sedum in it. It's purple sedum. I think I'll actually just plant it there. I like that look in that spot. And then the other grass is just right here. I don't know where that one's gonna go. It may just go into the compost pile. I'm not really sure. So this is a good option. I do like, obviously, as you guys have seen, I like having boxwoods flanking pathways, and these do just that. So that's going to do it for me for this project for today and for yesterday, getting this container planted up and just this area cleaned up a little bit, making it a little bit more welcoming, like I said, to come home to. So happy with what we accomplished, happy with how it is looking. And now I'm going to think about the containers that are on the front porch that we also shopped for in our last video, in our last shopping trip. And those are going to be really, really fun to create. So I hope I will see you guys in that next video. In the meantime, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for viewing this one, and we will see you again soon. Bye.